here for StarCraft II. So he is the favorite by many people to actually take the entire event again.
Absolutely, and he not only that, he won the Red Bull event last weekend and flew directly to China. So
yeah, he's basically, he has no time for practicing even. He's just here to only win. His practice is winning tournaments.
That's pretty much it, and he does it well. So, you know, I got faith he can win this one. It would be quite amazing if he did.
Yeah, you know, I feel like if he wins this tournament after traveling and everything else, after winning last year, it would just be such an incredible story for WCG.
It would be a testament to how good he actually is.
Last year when he won, he was considered by many to actually be the best player in the world, the best Protoss by far. And he's up against Sen here from Taiwan, and I gotta say, Sen is actually possibly the fan favorite here, just because he's considered a foreigner, right? Outside of Korea, he's very popular, he's got a likable personality, he streams a lot, he's been in esports for a long time, he's very well known in Brood War, so I would say Sen is definitely the fan favorite going into this one.
Absolutely, and it's going to be really interesting to see how Sen's form is, because he recently left his team Gamma Bears, so I'm really interested to see how he plays, and he's always had his own unique sort of style when it came to Zerg. He's had his own ideas, so it's always really fun to watch him.
Yeah. I definitely think that Sen could do this. It's going to be a really tough match, though. I mean, he does practice in Taipei. He's actually had some team troubles recently, switched a few teams, and I don't know how good his practice is, but he's just up against PartinG, who's got potentially the best team house to train in the world in SK Telecom. Definitely not going to be an easy one.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Really, really interested to see what happens.
Belcher Vestige is our map, as mentioned before, for game number 1. We could see a Soul Train here. 2-player map, 2 spawning locations. Very easy third base for PartinG to take if he wants it.
Absolutely right. Very easy third base to kill if he wants it.
So we are in the lobby right now.
Players just currently having a little bit of a chat.
Yeah, and they're talking about, I think, the player from Japan. I'm not 100% sure they're talking about in the chat, but basically, PartinG has said he's focused on Sen. The map is loaded. Sorry about our cutoff earlier, but we're back here. Our voices are clear. And we have PartinG spawning at the bottom right. It's the red Protoss. And his opponent, fan favorite to the top left from Taipei, he's Sen. And, you know, I was talking about earlier, just making, you know, jokes about their banter in the chat, but Sen it's definitely somebody that PartinG respects. You know, he's saying, like, I'm pretty concerned about you, actually. Generally speaking, the best StarCraft players are from Korea. As you know, you actually trained in Korea.
Absolutely.
And second best generally ends up being a spread between, you know, some of the best players from North America, some of the players from Europe, and, of course, Taiwan. And so Sen is definitely somebody that you got to be pretty concerned about, more so than a Japanese player, for example. There's not known to be a Japanese StarCraft scene.
Yeah, very true. And Sen has always been that foreign player that's always gone like third place or second place behind those Koreans consistently, just about every time. So yeah, he's always like that one foreigner you want to watch out for when there's like obviously not Scarlet or Naniwa around.
And you know, I feel like Sen is a player who sometimes gets affected by jet lag. When he plays nearer to his home, he does really well.
Yeah.
For example, BWC last year, he ended up going, I think he took 4th place, ended up losing to PartinG in a 3rd place match, if I remember correctly. You were at that event as well. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, I got whooped, but he did very well. He did very well, and once again, he got the highest foreign placing, you know?
Yeah. That's what he does. He's also known for taking 3rd place a lot of the time. There's actually a Hatch First here that could easily be cannoned, and I think that's what we're going to see. Forge First versus Hatch First. Doesn't have a spotter drone, and this could be a big problem.
Yep, that's what happened. That's the risk you take with the Hatch First.
No spotter drone. He confirms now because he saw the probe didn't go into the main base. He knows there's a cannoning happening, but there's not much he can do about it.
And this map is like the best map for cannon rushing, you know?
I mean, look at this. The pylon placement here is ideal with the geysers there. There's the cancel. Closes things off with a cannon, and what's he going to do?
he can't do it. He has to watch that cannon build and cancel his hatchery eventually, or lose it. So,
you know, he could try to lose it, but I don't think he's going to want to, because Sen is dealing with a cannon rush that's a lot of canceling, right? He's not actually committed to the pylons. He didn't cancel too much, so for PartinG here, it's only a big commitment into one cannon, not anything else.
That's right. It's incredibly cheap, and he could even, if he dared, try and cannon this one too. No Zerglings, no drones there, but it looks like he's going to play it safe. But he's going to actually see the third base.
Yeah, Sen takes a smart move, takes the base at the 3 o'clock, but it's spotted.
Is it smart though? We'll soon find out if he cannons it, but it doesn't look like it. I actually feel like the other sort of position would be a lot better.
Yeah, the one to the left side.
I see a Soul Train happening on the right side here. You see those bushes just underneath that third? You know, it's going to happen.
Absolutely, man. I think we could see that, and because PartinG knows about this, if he was thinking about doing the Soul Train push, he's definitely thinking about it a lot more right now.
It's set in stone now. There's no doubt about it. It could happen for sure. And I'd be surprised if it doesn't, because it looks like it's just such an easy base to take.
Even if he, for example, goes into just a gateway pressure attack with +1, it could be really, really strong, just because the rush distance here to that third base is so short by ground.
It's so close, you know. On the other side, it's a bit further away. It gives you a bit more timing.
Yeah, it certainly does. So I think maybe he took it because it would be the base PartinG would expect the least.
Yeah, but he scattered it straight away. So
what do you think about that gas cancel we saw from Sen on the main base? Do you think that was him trying to fake that he took gas?
Very possibly. I think that would be a very good way to play it. Kind of some fake Zergling aggression happening in the future, but yeah, it looks like he's just going to go into a powering, like just droning up like crazy. Yeah. Kind of the standard style, standard 3-base style. We'll have to see if he can kind of stop droning at the appropriate time for that timing attack. That I feel is going to come at some point.
Yeah, I think you could be right. We see Stargate instead of Robo, but that doesn't mean we're not going to see a timing.
That's right. You can always go Phoenix into Immortal, and you know,
exactly.
It's not unheard of.
And the third base here for Sen is mining now. He's got that up. He has that going for him. PartinG has actually not done anything since to pressure. He didn't, you know, make a Mothership Core. He's not saying like Zealot, Mothership Core, Stalker pressure, or anything like that, because he had a Forge Fast Expanse. So that will mine for some time. But I really like PartinG's position here because that base is so close, so easy to pressure.
Absolutely right. And it's going to be so hard to spread creep in between these 3 bases.
Oh, yeah.
They are so spread out. You're going to have to get half the map creep spread to get that safely spreaded.
The one thing that you can mention also, though, is that if Sen does end up holding this third base well, his fourth base is basically free. I mean, it's right at his natural. All he has to do is kill a cannon, and he's got it.
Absolutely true. And, very standard gas timings for Sen for the whole 3-base build, but it's only going to be 2 gases for now. So.
There's us.
Oh, I missed it. I was looking everywhere except that screen.
And a little bit of harassment actually going on of commentators on screen, but also of the Phoenix killing an Overlord on GameNet casters. The Marine actually pictured it right, is a famous StarCraft 1 commentator, as well as StarCraft 2.
I was actually a fan of him back in StarCraft 1. You know? He's a great Terran player.
He's a great guy, just recently got married.
Oh, congratulations.
This Ling's speed is not quite kicked in, so the Stalker is going to actually stalk his way home.
And as you can see, there's a pylon right very, very close to that third base, so aggression is going to happen very easily. It might even be, I'm getting the impression it's going to be just Phoenix +1 Zealot aggression, and it's going to be so hard to hold.
This is something that we've seen a lot of Kespa Korean Protosses do all the time. They love their +1 Zealot with Phoenixes. It's really, really effective.
That Roach Warren is only halfway done.
There's no way he's going to hold this third base. I just don't see it happening. He doesn't have a lot of Lings. The Zealots have +1. The Phoenix is going to work on the Queen. So many drones already going down here. If he targets that hatchery and wakes one more wave of Zealots, I think that base is as good as gone already.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't see this one holding.
He's actually trying to save the Spore. The Zerglies actually do grab onto this pylon, but there's already a replacement pylon, so what are you going to do?
Yeah, +1 Zealot's just going to eat everything up that comes near it.
He's already going to work on that hatchery. The Roaches are in production. There are 9 of them. Maybe, miraculously, he could save the hatchery. I just don't see it happening.
Well, he's got, 9 Roaches on the way, but they're going to... Only 4 of them can possibly spawn from this hatchery, and that hatchery is in the red.
Already gone. One more swipe, and there it goes.
Yeah. And he can just pick up these Roaches now and start wailing away at the army while he techs up and plans his next move.
Exactly. And this is a big problem for Sen because he's now in a position where he only has 2 hatcheries. He doesn't actually have a very healthy drone count. He's only at 55 here. It's a nasty place to be.
And
yes,
first two base, and that's never where you want to be against Protoss because it's just simply too cost inefficient. And there's just no possible way that you'll ever win that sort of fight.
And he still hasn't even dealt with the cannon back at home. And PartinG can now take a third base. He has almost even worker count with a Zerg, which is another thing you never want as a Zerg player.
No way.
And he's got the Robo Tech up. He's making Immortals. He's continuing his upgrades. He's golden in every sense of the word.
He just ate up all those roaches, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he got them for free. You don't have to trade units against roaches when you can kill them with the Graviton Beam from the Phoenixes.
Absolutely. And he's taken that third, and he'll probably do a timing push at the same time, you know, with Immortal and Gateway. And I think there's pretty much no way
I mean, he's actually almost killed the rebuilding hatchery. He gets a cancel on it. This couldn't be worse for Senna, I don't think.
Could not be worse. And he's putting the Zealots in a perfect position for these Zerglings, so it's going to take an incredible amount to deal with them.
Those Zealots actually were definitely worth their money. With the kills he gets here with the Zerglings now. Oh my god, he forced the cancel on the hatchery. You know, I don't see any way of Sen winning this, but he is making a lot of Hydras right now.
Well, he's going to try. He's going to try, but even Hydras at this point, it's just not going to cut it. The robotics facility almost finished.
The Queen is way too far out, by the way, if she gets lifted.
Yeah, baiting the Queen out.
I think he might be out of energy, but still.
He's killed too much already.
The Hydra's actually, with only those four, he can actually kill them with the Phoenixes if he has energy.
Yeah, if he catches them out. Oh, he's scared.
I think he's too low on energy. He's too nervous about it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we already have the Bay finishing. And when that finishes, if you're a Zerg player who doesn't have an answer for Colossi, you're not in a good place.
Well, if you're not a Zerg player that's on 4 base and making a Spire at this point, then you're in great amount of trouble, and that's exactly what's happening with Sen.
Well, he starts the Infestation Pit here, which is actually probably not going to be effective at helping him hold off any sort of a Colossi aggression, but at this point I can't blame him for trying. I mean, he's going to take risks because playing straight up from here is not the answer.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Sam was probably hoping it would be like a bit of a follow-up all-in or something, so Hydras could be really utilized, but pretty much he just sat there and teched up and got a third base, and he's got the perfect counter to mass Hydra.
Yeah, exactly. The answer to that is Colossi. And actually sometimes Storm, but in this case Colossi.
Don't think you could go wrong. I think even now
sometimes Void Rays also, but
yeah, like there's so many options right now simply because they're on the same amount of bases.
Yeah,
like he could really go anything.
Sen is down in supply against a Protoss player, and I guess we're probably nearing the 14-15 minute mark here. It's not ideal, and I mean, what can he hope to accomplish here with these Hydras? Even with only one Colossus out, there are 8 sentries to force field. He's got time warps, he's got so many Stalkers, and he actually can cut this army in half right now. Here we go.
Oh yeah, and there's not even Hydra speed right now, so he's caught off creep, and there's nowhere to go, and these Phoenix are going to lift everything up. And
yeah. PartinG's force fields are perfect, but quite frankly, I don't think he needs them.
He doesn't need anything but A move right now. And
GG.
GG. Oh, that was brutal.
That was a rough first game, but it all comes down to the hatcheries. The first hatchery blocked with the cannon, and the second hatchery with the Zealots. And
came down to that risk, that gamble that he took.
A lot of Korean Protosses are going for gateway expands on Belcher, almost all of them. And I think Sen was just thinking, you're just going to gateway expand like everybody else. But PartinG got that Forge first, and that's pretty rare nowadays.
Yeah, but it's such a great way to play against this new meta of Zerg. Like, you saw SOS do it against Jaedong, I believe it was. And just cannon rushed him so many times because of it. And it's such a threat. And if you're going hatch first and he's planning on cannon rushing you, he's going to do it. There's nothing you can do about it. So, such a big risk.
PartinG is looking ready to sign off on his win and move into game number 2, which will be on Polar Night, to remind you guys.
Now this map, it's not too bad for ZVP. This map kind of forces the Protoss to 2-base all-in because the 3rd base is so hard to keep.
Yeah,
it's so far away from the natural.
Really easy to. In the late game when you get an army to kill the rocks and take the base behind your natural too.
Very true. So I think this map, more than any other map,
welcome back to the WCG 2013 Grand Finals here in Kunshan, China. We're going into game number 2 between Taipei's representative Sen and South Korea's representative PartinG on Polar Night.
That's right, that's right. Yeah, and as I was talking about before I got cut off before.
Yeah, that was a fun little cut off we had there.
Yeah, this map's very promising for the Soul Train. I know I keep going on about the Soul Train, but I have faith that it's going to happen one of these games.
So if you're actually new to StarCraft, because I know this is a WCG stream where a lot of you guys have been watching League of Legends and Street Fighter, World of Tanks, the push that he's referring to is when you make a few Immortals and get a Warp Prism out, attack early with a lot of gateways, and do a really early timing attack to try to kill a Zerg player early.
That's right. Pretty much Immortal Sentry mass gateway units.
Yeah. And it's very, very difficult to stop, especially if you don't scout it. And it's very difficult as a Zerg player to get scouting information early, even with Overlords being a little bit faster.
That's right, that's right. You really have to cut drones to defend it, and the maps that really stop the Protoss from getting an easy third base is the maps you see it on more often.
Yeah. That's definitely true. And, when you're in a situation like PartinG, also when you're up a game in a best of 3, and you crushed your opponent in game 1, I mean, there were a lot of bad circumstances for Sen, but I think PartinG might be thinking about this like, well, I'll just do an all-in. If I lose, I can beat him in game 3 anyways.
You got a cushion game, and the game is on a map that you don't want to play on, so yeah, you might as well take a chance,
Yeah.
We didn't get cut off then.
No, it was all good. All right, PartinG from South Korea spawning to the bottom right as the red Protoss is up against the fan favorite. And there's his face. There's PartinG's face. And up against the fan favorite Zerg to the top from Taipei, it is Sen, formerly of Germania Bears, and I think currently officially teamless.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he just recently left Germania Bears and is currently seeking a team. There's actually a pretty big Taiwanese esports scene for all games. There's a league called the TESL, the Taiwanese Esports League, and they do a lot of different games, including kart racer type stuff, League of Legends.
It's all on
StarCraft.
TV, right?
Yeah, it's all on television, so big scene out there, and Sen is actually considered to be, by basically everybody, the best Taiwanese player.
I think that's without a doubt. I think he's won just about everything over there, and yeah, he's always representing Taiwan in all these tournaments.
He comes in as a foreigner, and also for those of you who don't know what we mean when we say a foreigner, foreigners used to describe any non-Korean. The term originates because in Korea, when the foreign players were playing tournaments, everyone called them the word in Korean for foreigner. So that became, any non-Korean is considered to be a foreigner, including Sen. It's not just about being Asian or not Asian. It's just
absolutely
not Korean is foreigner.
And looks like we got Sen playing very safe with the 15 pool, and we got and it's the wrong choice this game, unfortunately. If it was hatch first, it'd be perfect against this gateway expand, but doesn't look like it's going to happen that way.
Yeah, as a Zerg player, it's so frustrating to play against a Protoss who cannons you in game 1 because you know that he might do it to you in game 2, so you have to play safe.
Yeah, you're so scared of it, you just don't want to take that risk. You don't want to be the guy that gets cannoned twice, That's like the worst way to go out of a tournament.
That is the worst way to go out of a tournament, or like you lose to a 2 barracks proxy twice, like a double 11-11 twice, something like that, where you're just like, oh my god, really?
That's when you break your keyboard, man, because that ain't cool. But yeah, it looks like it is a safe play, the 15 pool, but it doesn't put you that far behind.
Yeah, it's not too far behind. You get a faster queen out and such. So there's another shot of PartinG. He is actually the WCG 2012 champion for StarCraft, so that's I think why we got that shot of him there. So everything's so far pretty standard, and the gas is complete for Sen.
Yes, that's right, and Sen hasn't even seen... Oh, I'm guessing Sen kind of assumed that it's going to be gateway first. Oh, I guess he's got the overload in the main base, so that's exactly how he figured it out.
Yeah, he knows now. gas really important against gateway expands.
You really need that circling speed to shut down any sort of gateway aggression.
Yeah, and if you have that speed, you might be able to even eliminate all pylons, all forward pylons, and if you can do that, then you're pretty much golden against any sort of early aggression coming from gateways.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I want to mention again, PartinG is the champion, but Sen is somebody who's played WCG a lot. I can't think of a WCG where Sen was not there. So he's also like quite well known in WCG for StarCraft.
He's very experienced. I think he'd be one of the most experienced foreigners out there. He's been around for so long and he's been to so many tournaments.
Yeah, I mean he's used to traveling. He's a very smart player.
Practices on the Korean server.
And he also off-races a lot. There's a certain type of player who loves to off-race to de-stress, and also it gives you a lot of it gives you the feel of playing another race, because you already know everything about the other race, but when you get that feel, it can actually help you when you go to play against that race.
It definitely gives you a lot of kind of like some information you wouldn't really think about when you start playing, and you notice like weaknesses that you didn't really think about while you were playing against them. Exactly.
Well, this Mothership Core is going to scout, and obviously not going to be able to force a cancel here, just annoy. If the hatchery were a little bit earlier, or a little bit, well, I don't think he's actually going to be able to force a cancel here. No. It's just the hatchery's too far along as it is. But with an Oracle, though.
I mean, like, the more damage it does to it, it's going to make any sort of zealot harassment a whole lot better.
Yeah, and with the Oracle coming out here, he can actually do a lot of damage.
Yeah, he's gonna kill a lot of drones.
Yeah, that's for sure. There's no spores up, and only one queen here. That's not going to be enough with the new acceleration, especially. You can just bounce around and kill drones and get out. He's actually queued up a second Oracle. With 2 Oracles, he could actually kill a hatchery, depending on how low he gets that, but I don't think that's going to happen with queens. And here comes the first queen right now. And is he actually going to try to kill the hatchery, or kill the queen with this? I think he can.
It looks like it, but there's a second queen there, so he might change his mind about that.
You should be able to get 1 queen and get out. That's exactly what he does. Getting drones might have actually been the better choice.
Oh, he's going for the second queen. But just not enough energy left. Oh, risking it a little bit. There's 2 queens there going through the time warp.
How do you feel about choosing the queen over drones?
I think it can be good if there's like a follow-up. Like, I'm guessing he's going to do a timing from this.
I mean, he's made a 3rd Oracle, so it looks that way. And he is committing heavily here. The second Oracle is active.
This is very interesting.
And he actually loses the Oracle, but he kills all queens, which means the next Oracle can do so much more for him.
And he left a hole in that wall unexpectedly and had to use a force field. So that's gonna bother him a bit later.
That's for sure. 50 drones right now for Sen. Land safe. Not actually harassing that Mothership Core now that the queens are gone, funnily enough.
Yeah, it's very interesting kind of style coming out from PartinG.
I think that's a robo. By the way, we have the production tab not on. That's not in our control, so.
See some units killed. 0 workers. 3 units.
He's really just harping on that hatchery. I mean, he's got it quite low with the Zealots walking across. It's exactly what you said. The more damage he does early, the better chance he has of actually killing it later with some units.
And all he has right now is a queen there. I mean, he could do some serious damage.
I think if he targets, I think he could actually kill the hatchery with the Oracles and the Zealots.
He could even kill the Spore if he really wanted to. Make things a whole lot easier.
Yeah, this is... The Oracles do so much damage to Zerglings, he's actually targeting the hatch now. Yeah. He could have killed the Spore, the Mothership Core comes in, and I think that hatch is history.
Absolutely. I don't think there's any chance for it. And all these drones are going to die too, which is also a bad thing, because he could salvage them.
Yeah, he could have saved them. He really wants to save the hatchery. He's not going to get it. The Oracle's actually going to kill the queen as well, and then the hatchery.
He could take his sweet time. He could just take his sweet time. Oh my goodness, that Mothership Core almost died too.
And the hatchery's still alive. He doesn't have any drones at it, but it's still alive.
He's probably not confident enough to drone it again too, I think, because it could take like 1 shot of a Zealot, or like, it'd take 1 Zealot to kill it pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, there's only 1 Spore, so only 1 side of that hatchery is protected by these, from the Oracles. So.
Exactly. I mean, if he wants to, he can actually just focus it down with the Oracles for a second and kill it. 1 Oracle for that hatchery is definitely worth it, and I don't even think he would necessarily lose the Oracle.
Yeah, I don't think so. And from here, it looks like he's going into Immortal Void Ray and a third base, which I think is a fantastic follow-up, and it's going to lead into a great timing.
It will lead into an excellent timing, and there's going to be very little chance for Sen to actually do anything about this third base after the situation he's in right now. And here come those Oracles, actually, on the other side of things. They're ready to look for something. I think they're just going to go for the hatchery, but he could go for drones alternatively.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Hatch.
Goodbye.
And actually, he might have even been able to stick around and get those drones going back to the natural.
Yeah, probably could have killed that queen, you know.
He's a nice parting right now. He's in nice mode.
Being merciful. Slightly merciful.
Ever so slightly. I don't think you could ever call a person merciful, though, who kills a hatchery with Oracles.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal. Yeah, it looks like it's going to try and cancel this third base of partings with Roach Hydra.
He actually will lose the Mothership Core.
Yeah, that seems not too bad. But Parting's got quite a formidable army right now, and he does have Oracles, which are really good at dealing with Hydras, so long as they're not targeted first.
Yeah, and you know, he's got actually 2 Void Rays and 2 cannons. I think he should be fine with good force fields here.
Yeah, split it in half.
And that's exactly what he does. Not the best force fields, but decent. Good enough. Those are the best force fields.
There's the Parting force fields right now.
Oh my god.
And here come the Oracles behind, kind of in the middle of nowhere, so they will die, but it doesn't really matter at this point.
He gets a good exchange out of it. The Immortals are just doing way too much here. And with this, Parting can actually just counterattack.
Yeah, there's just no hope left.
The third base isn't even recompleted, but he's probably going to go for the natural.
Yeah, or we could just wait and make a bigger wall. We could just wait until Sen leaves the game.
I mean, basically at this point, Parting can do whatever he wants. He could start carrier production.
Yeah, he could.
Almost. Maybe not quite that good of a position, but he's almost there.
Yeah, exactly right. Like, this is far from the ideal position of a Zerg. Like, they would want a 4th base by now, and they would want twice the supply, sort of
20
thing.
supply down as it is.
Yeah, so this is going to be brutal.
He doesn't even need high ground vision. He's just walking up the ramp, blinded, and Immortal is targeted down, nicely done by Sen. That's, you know, one tiny thing you can try to hope for.
Yeah, if you could get rid of those Immortals and maybe those Void Rays, and then use Burrow or something.
Yeah, there's no Observer, but I just don't think it's going to matter here.
Yeah.
The Spore Crawler is getting repositioned, but will be focused down in a matter of seconds. And drones coming off the line, never a good sign. And I think Parting is going to take the 2-0 that everybody expected from him.
Yeah, it looks that way. He might even lose his... Oh no, here comes more Stalkers.
Does he get the Observer? He gets that, at least. He gets that.
Gets the Observer. If there was Burrow right now, you know, could be a chance of a comeback.
That was just a consolation prize for participating.
Yeah. You know, killing a Parting Observer, you know, not too bad.
Yeah. If it was a creator one, it'd be probably much less.
GG.
And Parting takes the 2-0 that everybody was expecting him to do, and
very solid victory.
It was, you know, it was pretty straight up. He outplayed Sen pretty hard, and he gives his team Korea there.
Korea pride right there.
Parting probably the favorite to win it again this year.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the other 2 Koreans though could definitely prove to be quite a challenge. Sora and Sulky.
Yeah, Sulky already doing well earlier today. And so that does it for the first part of our StarCraft stream here. Parting coming out. Will he talk to Sen? I know they know each other. I know he really respects him.
Yeah, they're friends. Shake hands. Good sportsmanship.
All right, well, that does it for us for now. We'll see you back in a little bit for more WCG action.